All right, everybody, we are back.
It's Enlightened Living with Truth and Oneness discussions. All right. So we wanted to do a quick video. Well, it may not be quick. I don't know. But I think we're kind of getting to. I think maybe it's from the full moon in Libra that just happened. It's kind of opening up people's like consciousness a little bit more to the truth of their reality, getting a little clarity of what's really going on. But at least in what I've been seeing is that a lot more people seem to be asking more questions about what's going on, and people were putting more information out about what's really happening, sort of thing. So we wanted to kind of touch on that. I did want to talk about fear a little bit, people's fear in the situation that we're all in right now. But here's the thing, everybody. Yeah, we go. Yeah, obviously, there's a lot of places that are kind of closed, but um, and then places that are open, but like, well, I don't know even how to approach this.
All right, so pretty much everybody's seeing that a lot of things are kind of like being shut down at the moment, but we make an effort to go outside for a long period of time, pretty much every single day.
If you have your backyard, yeah, you can always be outside if you want. I think it's really, I think I said this in our other videos, but it's really important for people to be outside in nature, be meditating, connecting to your highest consciousness, sun gaze if you know about sun gazing, just kind of connect with the real stuff that's around you, your family, that kind of thing. But on the flip side of that, please, you can do this, I guess, if you really want to, but you don't need to go out in public wearing a mask and gloves. Like, come on, you guys. But whatever.
Yeah, it's like the whole glass mask and gloves kind of thing. Like that is like over the top. Like um, the coronavirus and all this other stuff, or COVID and whatever 19. Like, don't let this freak you out. Like, there's things that are happening that were happening way worse than this, and like this is nothing. This is to scare you. This is and like all the numbers are just like they just manipulate them any way that they can to make you afraid. Like literally here in the United States, somehow we ended up getting more cases and more. Everything's on the rise, right? Right. And but like the places where it started have less. That doesn't make any sense. And the bordering country is India, which has like almost none. So almost 2/3 of the world population has like none, but the U.S. has a ton. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, basically all you have to do is look at the numbers, and this is what we've kind of been telling people all along. It's like it doesn't make sense because it doesn't make sense. That's why, right? But recently, I think actually David Icke, I don't know if anyone knows who he is, but he's been doing interviews on, I believe it's called the London Reel, and he did one recently talking about this whole topic, and I think it's a really important interview for people to listen to because he goes in to the research he's done in very detailed. Basically, you can easily gather from this, and you can do your own research. And just from looking at the numbers, like we said, even if you don't have a lot of where you can go and do deep research, all you have to do is look at what's going on around you. You can see how fake it is. It's fake because there's part of a bigger agenda here to control people, and that's what is happening, right? But it's a really interesting interview. Hold on.
Yeah, it's like literally, it's like when you think about like all these different shows and movies where it's like the Hunger Games or like other movies where there's like a hierarchy where like pretty much like the mass populace is like slaves to a system of a few people. It's like this is what people are allowing to have happen right now, and they're not willing to do anything about it or even try to even like think about it. Like they're like told to jump, they start jumping. They're like, why am I jumping? They're like, because well, if you don't jump, you're gonna get in trouble. And people are just jumping, and they're like, why am I jumping?
This is the sheep. This is
Yeah.
the sheep mentality at its finest. What's happening right now, you guys?
And you guys are much more powerful than that. You guys are very strong. Like, just like make sure you're like understanding like all this is just to try to get you all to do what you're told to do. It's like, I mean, that was pounded into your system like as a child, like, hey, you need to do what you're told or you're gonna get in trouble. But the thing is, like,
So basically, we've been primed for this. Like, obviously, the whole public school system, going to work 9 to 5, it's a training system to get people to be like subservient or whatever. And so this is like sort of one of the max effects of the culmination of all of this, leading into if it goes in the direction that the controllers of this world want it to go, uh, will become even more so. But the thing is, okay, go ahead.
oh, but it's like as you guys, some people have been noticing, like with this extra free times, people with kids and stuff like that, they're like, wow, like it's great to be around my kids. It's great to be around my family. But they try to propagate like, oh look, when people are around each other, like divorces are on the rise, people are hating each other, people are fearful. It's like there's actually a lot more people realizing that they enjoy this time if they allow themselves to enjoy this time. Don't sit there and just get drunk every day. Don't sit there and just get high every day. Like actually like take a moment to be like, okay, I have all this time now, free time. I'm stuck inside. Well, you think you're stuck inside. You can actually go outside whenever you want. But you're like, okay, wow, I can actually do whatever I want. And that's an incredible thing when you really think about it. You can literally do whatever you want right now. And people should take advantage of this. Like, just do something that you enjoy, like something that you've been putting off. Like, just do it for why not? Because what else are you doing, right?
So I think that's the where there's. I feel like there's two sides to this whole event that's happening right now. There's the side of, yes, the people in control. Actually, maybe even three sides to it. I don't know. People in control are, working their muscles, and then the other side is people are realizing that they, by not going to work 9 to 5 and having their kids in school all day long, doing something different, we're realizing that maybe we want something different for our world, Maybe we don't want to live in a world where we just work all the time, work our lives away and give all of our money away. So I think that's where the it's opening our awareness to this, right? And then the other side of it is I feel like, I mean, yeah, if we continue to just like do exactly what we're told, it's going to lead down the path of just like more control over like this world. But I feel like that there is some other things going on under the surface. um, like I think there is some kind of strong action being taken against these um, small group of people who are trying to control everything. I think then that the evidence, if you, the last video I think we did, we talked a little bit about Freedom Media site, and then there's another one I posted in there too. And there's others too where everyone is putting together information where it looks like something else is happening too. But with that being said, we still have to do our part, by becoming aware consciously and also realizing that this whole thing that's going on now is pretty much fake. And the big reason behind why it's fake on the, opposite, on the side of wanting to control everyone, we need to understand that so we don't continue down that path, right? And just taking our like sovereignty, I guess, like realizing who we truly are, right? Um,
Yeah, there's definitely things happening in the background, but the thing is like we have to kind of like manifest these things and like also like be allowing them to happen. Like when someone came forward like Donald Trump being like, hey you guys, this is all gonna like disappear, but then because everyone was going into hysterics and kicking their feet like, oh my god, we're gonna die, and there's all this pressure from the public being like, oh, what are we supposed to do, people are dying. He's like, I guess we're gonna have to lock you down. You guys realize this is not really happening, right?
It's not that serious.
It is not that serious. And people kept flipping out, so he's like, okay, we'll lock you down. What the heck is going on with you guys? Like, literally, you guys, like, just bought into it, like, without even questioning it. Like, and some people, even in my family, like, are flipping out about, like, oh my gosh, there's deaths. Oh my gosh, there's people getting tested positive. It's like, so? It's like, does that really, it's like, there's people that die around you all the time. Like, why are you guys so afraid right now? It's like, don't worry about it so much. It's like, just continue doing what you're doing. But, like, also, when these things start to come out, like, if they roll out a vaccine or, like, different things or like screenings and everything. It's like, don't just stand in line and just do this stuff. That's absolutely ridiculous. The more things that you are giving up to have these things in place because you're afraid, like you were saying, like you're just giving more control to them, and like it just goes downhill. Eventually it's you're gonna have absolutely nothing, and then you're gonna be like, what just happened? Why am I in this place? It's because you let them put you in this place. Really.
Well, and all of this is talked about in that interview, so
Yeah.
I think it's important for people to go and listen to the interview from start. It's like 2.5 hours, but listen to the whole thing because there's a lot of good information in the interview, and I'll put the links for it in our description box. It's the David Icke interview with the London Real. Talks about how fake the coronavirus is, and he talks about 5G, and he talks about um, just at the end, he talks about some really important stuff about how the awakening. Okay, so listen to it all the way from start to end if you can. Um,
Yes, watch it all the way through and at 1.25 times speed because they talk a little slow.
but yeah, we're and obviously in a very important time, everyone. I hope everyone is starting to really understand just how important what's going on is to humanity and as a whole. And it's important because this is not something that's being done to us. This is something we've asked for. This is something that's pushing us to awaken to a new reality. Okay, I still believe that, like we've been saying throughout, we can manifest our own reality. We can manifest our world that we want to live in, and that's really what we need to be doing right now. Um, so focus on what you actually, how you want your world to be, and live that.
Absolutely. It's like there's been times where my faith in this have wavered occasionally, but I always come back to the same thing. When you like when we do any kind of research on like who we are, what we are, all these things, I always come back to this because there's times where I'll even question it myself. It's like, is this true? We're able to manifest everything, our own reality. We're in complete control. Like all this stuff. Really, is that really true? And then you just after you get to that point where it's like anytime you question it, it doesn't take very long at all for you to remember, yes, this is absolutely true. Absolutely true. And that's one of the things that's like there's all these different little systems in place to try to make people that don't know this yet not know this. And that's where we're going to start talking about here in a little bit about 4G and what I just realized even just yesterday, like how potent this kind of stuff is. And now they're trying to put out 5G, like why that's kind of important too.
Yeah, you want to just go right into that? So I want to just bring up because I think we did a video on this when we first went to our RV life. It was 8 months ago or so. We went on our first camping trip. We were the way out in the wilderness where we didn't have internet at all, and we were there for about 10 days. And I feel like that was probably the most like relaxing. Our kids were relaxed and everything. Everyone was calm. I felt like this connection with like nature, like I could almost hear nature speaking directly to me, and like the sun speaking direct. It was like really interesting. um and meditating, I could just get into meditation and like not be distracted like with my background mind chatter so very easily. And since that, I don't think it's been quite like that since then, because every other place we've been to, there's been some form of Wi-Fi here and there. But yeah, so there was that experience. Then I was like, it was 8 months ago. And I've been saying here that I think we need to cut down on our Wi-Fi. I think it might be actually affecting us. But anyway, yesterday, especially after watching the David Icke interview, we kind of came to a conclusion that wait a minute, maybe we really do need to do something different than what we're doing. So good.
Yeah, because I was experiencing some things. Like one of the things that was like kind of strange, like out of nowhere, I started having some ED or erectile dysfunction kind of thing going on, which was like really strange. I was like, okay, like, and then thought maybe it's because some of the natural supplements I was taking. I was like, okay, I'll stop taking these. But I remember some of them exclusively saying that they're supposed to actually help. So I was like, why would that? Well, maybe it's just a combination of these things that's kind of just messing me up. And then I was like, then we watched the video, and I was like, wait a second, because it's like I never really truly looked at 4G symptoms. I know there's like headaches and stuff like that, and like manifestations of other kinds, like joint pain, back pain, head pain. It'll also make some of your internal organs not work properly and things like that. And I was like, I wonder. So I typed in the connection between 4G and ED. And what I found was they actually have a whole bunch of studies. These probably like slipped through or something like that. But there's studies all over the place where these people had a significant change in their erectile.
Erectile.
From based on their exposure to their cell phones and 4G networks. It was like significant, and it all can be reversed by just like letting it kind of like turning this stuff off and get it away from you. And I was like, what the heck? And it's like, I was like, this must have slipped through because like typically if you like look at like, oh, what's 4G symptoms or 5G symptoms or something like that, it's like, well, there's no correlation, but here's some of the things you may experience. But like this one was like very conclusive. I was like, okay, so this must have. So afterwards we turned all the stuff off, and instantly, I had this massive pressure in my head started to fade away as we turned all the Wi-Fi in our RV and stuff off. Pressure in my head started to go away. I was able to think a little bit clearer. My irritability just started to go down. Even waking up this morning, like most of my joint pain was gone that I've been kind of like dealing with. Like my stiffness has been gone. I don't feel like so beat down. I was able to, my energy levels are starting to go back up already. I'm like, what? Whoa, whoa, whoa. And then, like, also the ED thing started to fade away pretty quickly, too. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Wow. Like, okay, like, this is really, really something. Like, this is just a piece of it. It's like, this is only one piece of the things that's trying to, like, lock you down and that we kind of just welcome into our world.
Yeah.
Like, this is just
Obviously,
one piece.
Yeah, the other things are obviously the air, the food, and the water, which we'd made some food adjustments recently that helped quite a bit. Well, we've been eating organic for a while, but we made some other. Well, we did a video on that, but yeah, exactly. This is just a part of the many things that are used to kind of weigh down our system. But it's a significant one because even I noticed that my kind of like when we'd had the camping trip, I feel like lighter headed, more calm again, more calm, more clear headed. Our kids were so much more calm last night. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
It's almost like night and day. Were you finished talking?
Oh, the kids one was a big one. I forgot about that because usually it's I'm the one that stays up with the kids at nighttime so she can get some rest. And normally, like after a while, they start waking out. But like they're really calm for the most part. They're still getting tired after a long day or whatever, and they actually just sat and watched a movie. Like instead of being like, I don't want to watch that, I want to watch this one. No, this one, or I want to do this now. I want to, I want this, I want this, I want this. They weren't doing that. They were like, oh, I want to draw a picture. Okay, they drew some pictures. Oh, I want to go play some blocks. They played some blocks. Let's watch a show now. And they actually watched the show all the way through without like wigging out too much about it. I was like, okay, this kind of reminds me of like when we were on that camping trip, like, because even then we talked about like how calm they were during that, and even like everything it's like for four people to be affected that much by just that one aspect is very significant. And that's where it's like people need to be outside, like get it, like if you can go out into nature away from like a lot of this, because like I know some people are in the cities and stuff like that, but it's like if you can try to get away from the city. The city is covered in Wi-Fi, absolutely covered.
And I also want to just bring up too, like you were mentioning, like some of your symptoms were getting more intense, like the last few weeks or months or whatever. What
After we bought a Wi-Fi hotspot that we bring around with us that was on almost all the time.
Yeah, we've had it since we've had our RV, but it's kind of been on and off. Where depending on where we've been traveling and going to different campsites and parks and everything. It's been on and off, but we've been stationary for the last 2-3 months now, and that thing's been on pretty much 24/7. So um, that stuff's been blasting on us this whole time, and we definitely felt it, and we like, and I've been wanting to have it turned off for a while.
That is true. I
I
was wrong about
finally
that.
finally have an agreement here that we are only going to turn it on for probably an hour in the morning or whatever when we do videos for our YouTube and Facebook and whatever, and check emails and whatnot, and then just turn it off the rest of the day. Like, there's no need for it to be on for anything else. But yeah, that's something for people really need to think about. Like, this stuff is actually affecting us, and of course they want to do the whole 5G thing, which you listen to the interview, you can see some of the potential things behind that. Um,
Reasons behind that are pretty significant because it's like if something like 4G was able to affect that, it's like we have a really clean system, so it did take a while for 4G to really start affecting us. 5G is much more potent, and the thing is like, and we have clean systems, so it's like for people that don't, 5G is going to absolutely crush you if you just allow this stuff to happen, and it's unless people like do something or like make a stand. People have actually been burning some of these 5G towers and stuff like that in other parts.
or according to that interview, yeah.
Yeah, in different parts of the world. But it's like, and people just allow these things to happen. Like, it's a massive amount of control that they're gonna be like trying to crush people down with. But obviously, it's like there's things it's like we can still rise up against it. It's like it's not like oh no, it's over now, but it's like just I want people to kind of be aware. Like if you start to manifest symptoms after this is all rolled out, of like oh I have cold or flu or like oh someone's like dying or whatever. It's like look into the other things before you just like okay this must be like COVID-19 or anything like that. Okay, look into it more. Don't just like give in.
Well, I mean, this is just not something we, as a humanity, even need to go in that direction. Yeah. So it's sort of like be aware of it because of it spreading that awareness and realizing it's not something we want is enough to make it not happen.
Yeah.
Or part of enough to make it not happen. I do want to mention, if you do listen to the interview, he mentions the whole 5G thing in some area where he's talking about the hospital workers in New York, talking about they're not treating people that have, obviously, it doesn't look like these people team that have something else that they've never seen before. This, I think, I don't really know 100% obviously, but people have been doing a lot of research that there's some underground thing going on that might be tied to, which is, overall could be a positive thing. If you do more research, you'll come to that, hopefully. I don't know. Or maybe they'll tell us here in the near future. I don't know. But I really do feel like something else is going on in conjunction with all of this that is another big thing, but it's in a good way. Okay? But I don't know, I guess, for sure. But some of the things other people's research and whatever I've been looking at seems to point in that direction. I obviously have to do more research, but everyone else do your research too. Look into these hospitals and that they're actually doing things in. It's particularly, I think, in New York area, because I feel like something is happening. Mm-hmm. Even if you listen to Donald Trump talk about, they need respirators. I don't think they're treating people that have succumbed to 5G symptoms. I don't think that's what's going on. I think there's something a lot more, I don't want to say sinister, but the reason that it is in place is sinister, but they are undoing that now. I think it's an undoing of some big sinister thing that has been going on. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's because here's the thing too, because he knows that this whole COVID-19 thing is, for the most part, BS, I believe, but he still is speaking about something that's very serious that's happening right now. Mm-hmm. And so I think that, and I don't think it's 5G, because I think they are rolling out 5G, and there are people that are sort of coming to it, but it's just, at the moment, kind of like an upgrade from people that already have toxic systems from 4G and all the crap food and poison food and water that they're taking in. Um, so yeah, I think it's something different, but
Yeah, there's definitely things that, like you're saying, like happening in the background that are like positive and like things that are going to be
definitely,
revealed.
like, you know that for sure though. Do
I
you know
feel
that?
it.
Okay.
I don't know if for like certain, but I feel it, and that's one of the things that's like people need to realize. Like if you have a gut feeling about something, look into that. Like that's something that's like has served us pretty well in our lives. Is like the gut feeling, but they teach you to not trust your senses for a reason. Like, cause it's like
And when you're listening, it's your gut feeling too. The people that have toxic kind of systems where if your body is full of toxins and you're hooked up to Wi-Fi all the time and you're drinking all the gross water and whatever, like, you still are probably getting some kind of intuition or gut feelings about things, but just make sure that because there can be low energy, low frequency energies that can kind of attach themselves to you. Just make sure you're not. Basically, you need to meditate and align with your inner being or whatever, and trust that things speaking to you. Um,
that's a very good point.
yeah.
Yes, the collective conscious. If you're definitely around a lot of low vibrations and everything like that, it's like you might, yeah, kind of filter out like all the negative ones or the ones that like might not be yours. That's actually a very good point. Like really try to take this time to understand and clear yourself.
Clear your system, and then yes, definitely listen to your gut instincts about things.
Yeah, it's and like the things like the programs that we've set up or that we've done ourselves, like in detoxing your system and like changing out all these things, like great stepping stones to get you to a point where it's like you can really see the world for what it is and realize how amazing and powerful you really are by like filtering out all this crap that's been in your system for who knows how long. Some people are much further in the other direction than others, and some people can have a really like weighed down system but be waking up also. It's like we're all in this together, we're all figuring it out, and the more you kind of like filter out of your system, the better. And it's an amazing thing, like being able like when you have a clean system, like we can see a night and day difference really quickly over like even something as simple as like 4G. It's like when you have a clean system, your system is able to filter things out very 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 fast, and like can these things it's they can go through you instead of getting just like stuck or like stagnant, or it's so you can actually get back to a place where you can manifest and you can create detox and all this stuff. Yeah, so detox for sure. Like just make sure you're trying to take care of yourself, like really take care of yourself, not just all like, well, I exercise, that's taking care of myself, right? That's just only a one piece of it. Like fully like trying to embrace taking care of yourself, mind, body, spirit, everything.
Yeah.
Is there any other things you'd like to talk about before we wrap this one up?
I think that's it. Just the main thing is don't give in to fear. Don't give in to hate. That leads to the dark side, right?
Yes.
Educate yourself. Do like look at this. At least look at this David Icke video and kind of look at some of the other videos that we've talked about. Or I mean, I don't know. Just realize that the world's not what it seems at all. All right, and also that we're powerful manifestors of our reality. Like we're the infinite source, and nothing can control us when we are in that awareness and in that power. And this time is for us to realize that in its fullest kind of aspect or whatever. And so take this time and really come into your being as who you truly are and manifest our collectively. We need to start kind of manifesting the reality we really want to experience, and don't worry so much about the fear part of it at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is going to be a great and amazing experience. Just make sure you do your part and like be a positive experience, because like the negativity and hate and fear doesn't bring you anywhere but down, and everyone else around you down. And that's the thing, is we are all connected. Like it or not, we're all infinite consciousness. We're all connected. the more people that they pull down, the more people they pull down. It has nothing. They have no power at all. It's like don't give in.
We're the ones doing this to each other when it comes down to it. That's really the ultimate thing. We're doing this, allowing other people to give us suggestions, and we're carrying out the action. We're doing it to each other.
Yep. Because we're the ones that manifest this.
Mm-hmm.
We are the ones that create all of this. So
yes,
be positive, be happy,
be the change you want to see.
Exactly. Right? All right, everybody.
All right. Yes, everyone. Peace.